Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be Gemini reading for November. So this is for anyone who has Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, Ascendant. If you're feeling that North Node Gemini energy, if you're being affected in the beginning of the month by Mercury retrograde, checking to see if there's anything else mercurial going on. Just thinking. I guess that's it. Virgo's also ruled by Mercury. I don't know if there's anything going on in Virgo just yet, but perhaps. Alright, so the reading that I'm doing for November is called Ancestor Overview. It's a $77 reading. You can add charms to any reading that I offer for $7. So if you added charms spread on top of this reading, it would be $84. Alright. So the way that this reading runs is this section is for the querent. That's for whoever's going to be watching this, or if you're cross-watching, it's who you're watching it for. This is a past, present, and potential future energy. This could be during November, or if you're watching this at a different time, it's any time within the next foreseeable future. And then I have Wands energy, Cups energy, Swords energy, and Pentacles energy. So that's the core energy, the modus operandi, the life purpose sort of energy. I have emotional and or psychic inclinations, and then there's communication, perceptions, thoughts, and then Pentacles energy is the physical body, its manifestation, and it's the resources such as money, such as, and such as. I have two cards down here that it's going to be like advice for that, and then in the ancestor part I have near ancestors, middle ancient ancestors, and very ancient ancestors. So it could be parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, or it could be something like within the last couple hundred years, within the last maybe 1,000 years, and this could be tens or hundreds of thousands of years. Or it could be both at the same time, given the way that time is cyclical and all times are now. We just experience them linearly. And then for the whole reading, I have cards that match here for the wrap-up. So I am using, for this reading today, for Gemini, I have the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I have the Work Your Light Oracle. I have a cramp in my arm. I have the Lover's Oracle. I have the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. And I have the Mini Rider-Waite.
It's a cat and letter.
And I have a rat in a cup. Delightful. Anyway, elastic stuck to me. I'm going to start with the viewer, so we're going to be looking at Gemini's energy first. Now, what's interesting is that when I have a grid of Lenormand cards, I want to read them as a grid, because I do offer 9-card and 16-card Lenormand grid readings. And sometimes I do grid readings with the other decks instead, although that's kind of what the Lenormand is designed for, and I should get another one. But I'm going to read them as they are. So for the past, for Gemini, we have 7 inverted, the snake. I'm actually not surprised to see this, and I think this relates a lot to Taurus's reading. So maybe if you're on the cusp, you're probably going to want to see both readings. So I have this infinity symbol here, but it's broken open. Right? The feedback loop has got a leak in it, and there's information that's not coming through. We've got crab apples here. So I have a 7 inverted. The racetrack is closed. Right? 7 being a chariot number. There isn't a movement. Now what's interesting is that this is ouchie, ouchie, bitey, bitey. Like, I will fuck you up kind of energy. We have a Queen of Wands here in a distorted energy, which I've actually been seeing in, I think, 2 of these readings. Normally the Queen of Wands upright is the energy of being in control of the internal fire, and not so much a femme fatale. But in this card, with the snake on it, it's very much that. Now, you could say that the queen inverted is out of balance, and in that case, she's the femme fatale. But here, it's sort of like you've bitten your own poison apple, right? The snake looks like it's about to injure itself. So the energy here that I'm getting for Gemini, oh, two-faced, because of the twins. Good cop, bad cop energy. But what the main message that I'm getting is this core drive in the past for Gemini is to understand the distinction when sort of attacks against others end up biting you in your own ass, right? Instant karma. I also just heard revenge is best served cold. But I also get the a little bit of Christina Aguilera, I hurt myself by hurting you. Right? It's like with this idea of, you know, the anger that I hold, or the jealousy or the venom that I hold towards other people does more damage by me sitting in it. Like, my jealousy consumes me more than it does anything to you, that sort of energy. And of course now my battery is low. Let's see if I can finish this section first. Alright, so we've got in the emotional energy for Gemini, we have the scythe inverted. Hey! So we have the 10 with a jack of pentacles. That could be the knight or the page, but I'm feeling the page energy here. Turn the page. Somebody's dog-eared this motherfucker. So there is an idea of a completion number, but I am going to skim this in the book because I'm not overly familiar with that card. No, wait, 10. As if I knew what I was doing. I also just got the idea of turning back the clock. If I could turn back time. Now, see, what's interesting, it says, to everything there's a season, a time, and a time to every purpose under the sun. So that's from Ecclesiastes, but I know it as the lyrics from the Birds song that I think Bob Dylan wrote that one. And then it also says, I cut through with precision with a sharp and clear vision. I am an accident, a deep cut, a break, or sometimes a difficult decision that needs to be made. Sudden trauma or shock that will take you by surprise. So like swift and clear cut. So it's cutting away. Actually, no, it's in the invert, it's cutting towards the snake. It's like cutting the feedback loop. And also, I just said revenge is best served cold. It's like sitting on something for a long time before attacking. It's like bottling up any rage until you explode at a time that doesn't seem to have anything to do with anything. I'm also with that turn back time earworm. I'm getting that there's it is trauma, but it's also sort of like a misunderstanding of galactic proportions that's happened in the past. And when you think about it, it's like opening up the scab. Like digging the razor blade into the old wounds. Okay. And let's look at the thoughts here. Okay, so I'm not surprised to see the clouds. So I see Queen, I see Jack inverted, and then I see the King. So that might be the Knight, but it might be more of, again, it might be the Page. I'm really not sure. And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's somebody who's stuck between worlds because they can't move. They're like, you're supposed to bridge up to a Knight, but that dream where you were late for the bus and you missed your graduation class is kept you from moving up into the knighthood and being able to move forward. So it's a stuck in time moment where it is a mystery, right? It's clouded. I don't know if I'm the Jack or the Page. Or I don't know if I'm the Page or the Knight. But the King of Wands is upright here. And the way that this card is sitting, my thoughts of the past are still cloudy. I can't fully reconcile this. But there's some kind of manifestation that's coming into view that's trying to open up this acid past. Which is interesting because the King of Wands is in balance. Let's see what this manifestation card is. Ah, the Mountain inverted. So we have 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is that fast movement, rapid communication. So we're over the challenge, but it's taken a really long time. It's like the clouds are clearing because I'm finally at that mountain peak. I am starting to be able to see the other side of it, but I still have to climb back down the mountain to solid ground. Like I'm still feeling the thin air in my lungs, and I haven't been able to release pain that is inflicted on me, or more accurately, pain that I've inflicted on myself related to frustrations with other people, injuries by other people. Like, you owe me, or I'm gonna get back at you, or I hate myself because you abused me. Though all the wheelhouse of those energies. Self-hate related to injuries either perceived as being caused or actually caused by other people. So it's I'm about to let go and have a clearing, but I'm still having a hard time getting there. And here we see the number on this mountain is 21, which is the world number. It's Saturn energy. It's very difficult. It's a lot of work. It's 8 of Wands. Mercury in Sagittarius. So this is the north and south node right now. But this card is coming in inverted. It's like, it took me so long to get to the mountain because my compass was reading backwards. I'm trying to become aligned within myself so that I can release. Right, because the King of Wands here is in this this passion of like, I feel deep in myself what it is that I am, but the thoughts and emotions and grounding aren't there yet. I'm going to change the battery before I continue and make a new segment. So in the present for Gemini, I have the Tree of Life in the Wands sector. Almost every time I get this card, it's inverted. This is the first time I've seen it upright. So we have the number 5, which is a shift or a pivot. And I see this rainbow, and not only is it a rainbow, but it's like a loop, like a disc. I just got a little bit of she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. But it's like a train track, like a pathway. And I see the Sephiroth in here, and it makes me think of DNA. I mean, this is part of the basic structure of the universe, but the way that I'm seeing it now, especially on the tree, we're talking about ancestry, the tree of life. I'm seeing it as the DNA, and it's like inside of the tree of life. We're trying to bring this... I mean, literally the clouds have cleared here, and there's a rainbow coming in after the storm. 7 of Cups here is the moon in Aquarius. That's usually the, like, confusion and obfuscation card. Some people think it's options. But I think it's giving me sort of, like, dead-end evolution energy here. Aquarius energy has to do with, like, ideas and innovations. So it's giving me this, okay, it's time to find a new innovative way to open up your consciousness. There's going to be a new form of fulfillment. But let me just skim this card in the deck. I mean, in the book. And I do see the 7 here and the 5 and then the 7 and 5 here. And I do get a little bit of Hanged Man energy, but it's giving me more of the invert, like the waking up, the Neptune retrograde. Health of body, mind, and soul. The imperative to put down one's roots and ensure a secure future. An inherited health condition. Interesting. Okay. So there isn't anything else really interesting in there, but it is affected by the cards around it. So let's see what's going on emotionally in the present for Gemini. So we have the Cross. It's coming in 6 of Wands, but it's more of a 10 of Wands energy, right? The cross to bear, the burden. And I mean, technically, biblically, the cross that Jesus was bearing was that nobody believed him that he was the Son of God. It is sort of, there's a mark on my family. a little bit of like reputation, or again this idea of that's sort of an attack that's ready that you might not have any defenses against. Six of Wands is Jupiter and Leo. It's usually that accolades energy, but in this deck it's the cross that the family bears could be some kind of illness, but it could also be more of a mental illness, which I did see come out in Taurus reading, I think it was, of an emotional illness, an ego illness. Let me skim the cross, because I haven't gotten that card very many times. 36. Which breaks down to 9, which is Hermit energy. Yeah, it talks about grief, ordeals, pain, suffering, guilt. This is the calling card of taking responsibility despite the cost. So it's coming in with this victory too. It's essentially saying the way to emotional release for Gemini in the present is to have a new approach to dealing with their ancestral trauma, whether that's mental, emotional, or physical, which is what's going to lead to the Six of Wands success. Which makes sense because we have this King of Wands energy in the mental state. It would follow that there would be some sort of reverent energy in the emotions, right? Oh, look at him. Is that the king? Oh my god. How'd he get there? But let's look at the thoughts here. So we have the book. So not only is there an innovation, but there's learning as well. We're unlocking the knowledge. 10 of Pentacles. That's physical well-being. Physical contentment. It's like I'm feeling I'm just thinking of thoughts, perceptions, and communication. My perception of how well I'm doing in the physical world changes the more that I learn. I'm increasing my knowledge. In here, it could be spontaneously as well. Okay, when I see the flowers inverted, it tells me you don't bring me flowers anymore. But now I have a Queen of Swords inverted too. It's sort of like off with your head energy. But I have a 9 inverted, which tells me Hermit inverted, which is Virgo energy with Mercury retrograde. Queen of Swords, Virgo and Libra. And entering November, Mercury and Venus are going to be in Libra. So this physical element here has to do with, like, I don't expect someone to come in and rescue me in the material world. I'm learning that the healing that I'm doing is coming from within. I'm resolving something that's deep inside me by approaching the problem from this knowledge that's kind of within. And also this energy to me is still giving me this idea that nobody's bringing you like love symbols, but instead of reacting to this pattern of, you know, everybody only brings me the thorns, they're out to get me, they want to stab me, I'm learning that I can find a new solution to this issue. Right? It's like I just heard the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. It's like waking up and smelling the coffee. You know, it's I'm starting to learn that I don't have to be controlled by reactions to other people, especially if it seems negative. I just heard if they're out to harm me, and it's a lyric to something, but I don't remember what it is. Get a sip of my beverage here, which I need to hold off camera for reasons. Okay. And this potential future here for Gemini, we have the owls. So not only do I have a 12 here with the Hanged Man number, but now I have these cosmic downloads. The ancestors are bringing you information. Your guides are bringing you information, and it's not a bunch of it's not a bunch of fluff either. It's really important. We have moon energy, right? We're bringing you secrets. 7 of Pentacles energy. Saturn in Taurus. So there's work on grounding. But Taurus also holds the idea of hedonism. Taurus ruled by Venus. So there's a nurturing and a grounding, but also this idea of treating yourself, right? Nobody's giving to me. I need to nurture and treat myself with information. 7 of Pentacles is sort of growing a harvest. And because it's upright here, it tells me that there is an element of patience. I am not impatient. I'm in a place where I can get these downloads. And notice 7, 5, 12. Things are starting to add up. I can see growth. And not only that, but these owls are in the branches of this tree that are being worked on. So it's very much so that ancestors are coming in to give messages because they want to be freed from this toxicity as well. So emotionally, potential future. So here we have the man. This is the alternate man. This is the one with the Mars symbol on him. So we have the Mars Aries energy here. It's essentially the Emperor. So if 28, which breaks down to 10, which I do see here. Now, if this 36 is a 9 and the Jack is an 11, that gives me this idea of 10 as well, right? 20. And then 2 and 8, 10. He's coming in inverted. So we have Cups energy, Ace of Cups inverted. Now, even though I want this emotional truth to be upright, what I'm seeing is this ego showdown that's happening while Mars is retrograde in Aries during November, during this time. I'm going to see what else I get with this card. Fall energy. I think it's sort of like a recoil. I'm making a lot of progress, but I'm still, when I think I'm done, I'm still having to face my ego to some extent. My emotional core is still trying to put up a front, even though intellectually I understand what I need to do. I'm hearing what I need to do. I'm working on it. It's like the one twin is ready to go and the other one is having a tantrum. So we have 16. This is the stars, plural in this. It's about navigation. Now look at this. We have the astrological chart here. We're dealing with time scales that go back and forth for ages, right? We're fixing something now that's been going on for ages and will have impact on the future and the past. Six of Cups here is the sun in Scorpio, right? The sun is going to be in Scorpio during this time, and I'm seeing November 16th in particular. I'm being told to say, I know this is some people's birthday, November 16th. Now, because this reading is for Gemini, that would mean it's ascendant or Venus or Mercury. Although Mercury is so close to the sun, it's usually the same as the sun sign. But you could be affected by the Gemini node or the Mercury retrograde. But someone with Gemini energy, in particular, their birthday is November 16th. And I feel like this is important for them to really listen to this message. For everyone else that's reading it, it's the number 16, and it's pivotal in that 16 is normally the tower energy. But it also breaks down to another 7, and I see 7, 7, 7, 7. It's sort of like your luck is changing, your stars are starting to align. Now, 6, the sun in Scorpio, the 6 of Cups energy is that sort of looking at the past more fondly. And if it's inverted, it's no longer romanticizing the past. But in here, it's sort of by being in alignment with myself, the past becomes healed and I'm in a state of transforming it, scorpionic death energy, so that I feel secure, sacral energy, which is scorpionic because it rules the genitals, secure and safe because my past is no longer hurting me. But let me skim the stars just to see if there's any other information there. Guidance and healing. Oh, it says, in the game of hope, we make progress along a snakes and ladders type map of life. At this stage, we arriving at the star of good prospects. Okay. It says, we have all heard this saying about someone who has stars in their eyes and that we should follow our own star. Optimism and ambition. Holy crap, if I could talk. It's a card that portends success and much promise, like thanking one's lucky stars. So I did say success because I had the 6 of Wands here already, but this card is reminding me that I was looking at something the other night, and it made me think of Foreigner's song Jukebox Hero. Right?
He's a jukebox hero. He's got stars in his eyes. Stars in his eyes.
So we have the clocks. The clock destroyer. This is an additional card in this deck. It's an expanded version, so it doesn't have a specific card, but it's telling me major arcana energy. So I see 3, which is the Empress number. I see 7, which is the Chariot number, and together 10, which is the Wheel. So I see 10 here, I see 10 here. And then I had a bunch of 7s. 1 and 2 is 3. And then the queens can be a 1 or a 13. So there's this idea of 10 and 3 as well. And then 21 is 3. But I'm noticing particularly this owl here. Right? As I'm talking about grand scales of time, different layers of time, all forms of time happening at the same time. But we experience it linearly. It's also giving me time has come today. I think the Chandler's Brothers sing that one, but it's also giving me Pink Floyd time with all the clocks. Alright, so I don't remember how that Pink Floyd song goes, but it's also giving me the energy of the Time Master in the Mystical Shaman deck, and I'm going to get that out because it's going to make it easier for me to explain this. Because it came out in well, I'm pretty sure it came out in 2 of the readings already, because I know I've talked about him. Pretty sure it's actually 2 of the other readings. Where the hell are you, buddy? Where's my bitch? My best friend. There he is. Interestingly enough, his number is 57, which is the 5 and the 12, and the 7 again is nice because I see the 57 here on this tree, and then tree and time and the zodiac and the clocks are all very similar, right? Because the tree rings measure time. So I was talking about the 8s here, and I was thinking about the strength card in the Wild Unknown Tarot, because the lion has an infinity symbol on him, but this 8 right here, the infinity, is a lot like the snake here. The feedback loop is broken here, right? It bit its own tail and was like, hey, that hurts, and flailed around. So the Time Master here is understanding that time is not linear, that they can skip timelines, right? Skip to a different brain, a different point in space-time. But they can also move up and down their own timeline, at least in an astral way, and change what they're doing now, which will change things in the past. So it doesn't just affect the memory, right? It doesn't just it's not just like editing a document and hitting save and having it change the file permanently. It's like it automatically changes all copies of the file on different thumb drives, floppy disks, CDs, and so on, without you having to do it manually. It's being able to move in and out of time and realize that you're not locked into this storyline of this is me in the past, this is me now, this is me in the future, and with being very stagnant in your identity. You don't have to stay in these labels of, being more ouchy bleedy because you think people are out to get you. Is that? Alright, so let's get these other cards here. I have advice cards for this section for Gemini. So we have fire, 19. So this is the number of the sun, but I also see 10 which is the wheel again. But this is also, I mean, normally you think of the sun as being the solar chakra, but here we're seeing that the birthplace of fire is in the sacral chakra. I know there's a lot of red on this card, but it's very much orange. It's like and I've been saying in these other readings that the fuel for the fire that exists in the sun, in the solar chakra, is in the sacral chakra. It's security, a feeling of home, of being allowed in your own creative flow. It's not being afraid of your own sexual energy because it's a part of your total energy, right? It's like you can't have the whole rainbow if you're afraid of the color orange. It's dropping the guilt and the rage and the fear and getting in touch with your own identity. Well, I am going to skim that in the book. And then inverted 59, we have the upper world inverted. So there's something that still needs to be worked on here, and it looks like it's coming through with the throat chakra. I'm having a hard time communicating to my higher self. But these owls are still trying to come in from the upper world. So let me skim both of these and see what's up. So with fire. I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. The impermanent nature of reality. How situations can transform into beauty or chaos. Passion. Its dancing flames invite us to reach the sky, the upper world. Warmth and light are heavenly, yet too much heat can scorch us. To fully step into the energy of fire is to be utterly transformed, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Now, the phoenix rising from the ashes was a very intrinsic, important point in one of the other readings that I did, and I've done, kind of crammed them in the last few days, so I don't remember which one it was. Warm your hands and your heart by your inner fire. Let it burn away your hardships. Let it consume your pain and sorrow. Has life become too cold, too superficial? It says, light a candle or make a bonfire and toss into the flames everything that's become stiff and painful. Give it all to the fire for rapid transformation. Interesting. Well, let me see what the upper world says. Because there's medicine here, because when they're inverted it says there's medicine. It says it's a place where you go to retrieve your destiny and find out who you will become, to discover your great potentials and undreamt of possibilities. It's also the place where the spirits of the dead arrive when they complete their journey to the light. Interesting. Okay. It says, ask your divine helpers for guidance. If the oracle has already spoken to you, do not ask for more guidance. Take what's been offered. Now you must deal with the lethargy and idleness. While support for a new destiny is not yet in place, a new destination is available to you if you act now. Interesting. What does that even mean? 5 and 9 is 14, out of balance. If I could reach the stars, I'd give them all to you. Take back those words that have hurt you. I feel like this is more like burn down your defenses. Instead of talking over the messages. Almost like, I'm not going to believe in synchronicities, that's bullshit. Right? So Gemini's, the twins, one twin is ready to, you know, I'm going to burn my old diaries. But the other twin is like, it's like, are you really going to listen to this? I just heard fooey dooey, which is really stupid, but, like, woo. Like, what all is woo woo shit? You're actually going to listen to that? So there's this idea of, like, part of Gemini wants to, you know, put their their life into the flames and emerge from it, and the other part is struggling to get any messages. And we see that there's fire energy because we have the King of Wands here, right? But there's clouds because I'm not getting the message. But everything is starting to move towards alignment and innovation. I want to see what the rest of the reading says, because I might need to bring in more information for Gemini. Let's see what's going on with me sneezing first. It's almost like I'm hearing, this card says you have all the information you need. Don't bring in more information. So let's see what's going on with these ancestors. I see 3 cards in the challenge position. In the very distant past. Awakening inverted. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. Normally, when these cards are inverted, I see confusion or delay. But because 3 of them came out in the challenge position, oh my god. This is what happens when you read during Mercury retrograde when you don't feel good. Start chewing on my own face. I'm going to read this as if it's the opposite because it's inverted. Right? We have a descent. A fragmentation. Which is probably why Gemini is feeling like one part of themselves wants to go, 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 and the other one's like, la, 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 not listening. So this is a descent from security, from purpose, from connectivity into fragmentation. We're going into the darkness, the moon energy. It says Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, and the original light workers, right? I don't feel safe. I've fallen out of security. I don't feel like I belong anywhere. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution and expression. Right? I'm locked into position. If I voice dissension, I'm going to get picked on. If I stick my head up out of the crowd, I'm going to get knocked down first. Play. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. Right? It's like maybe if I put on a happy face, but I'm not really feeling it. Sort of. Life's a play and all the players wear a state. Oh my god. Life's a stage and all the players wear a mask. I think that's what I'm getting. Let's see what the middle ancestral area is doing. So we want heart chakra activation. Secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. Right? If you're wearing a mask, then your true emotions are not going to be accessible. It's the mask. It's a very sad angel. They're either very sweaty or very weepy. And we see more of this heart energy here. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times we must accept things as they are. There's no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. Right? There's this idea of, I can't accept who I am because I know if I'm myself, I'll belong even less. And then we have cyclical time here, a root issue. This family tree situation here. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow, you'll be surprised where it leads. Okay. So we have this idea of resisting things that you truly desire, because you feel like if you take any sort of responsibility or control for your own life or desires, that you'll be punished. So there's a resistance to upsetting the status quo, and it ends up slowly poisoning the energy over time, and it ends up as this sort of epigenetic thing in the chromosomal structure that sort of trips out and is like, you know, don't let the path lead you astray from the crowd, because this is how it's supposed to be. You don't want to be ostracized, do you? So don't forget about what you really want. But here it's sort of highlighted the King of Wands. The passion is the thing that most needs to be balanced and healed. Blow my nose. All snuffly. Some of this communicative issue is because Mercury is going to be retrograde in the start of November. Now, sometimes when it's going back to older things that have been started already, it ends up with a clearing. But can also cause confusion, delay, and communication breakdown. It's like, what'd you send me? Can you resend that? No, you gotta wait for your email server to unfuck itself, and then the message will pop back up. I'm not going to send it 800 times. So in the middle of distant ancestor, or the most recent ancestors, Jesus Christ, if I could talk. 6 of Pentacles. Look at this. I have solar energy, I have root energy, and then I have this blue energy, which is somewhat indicative of the throat chakra. But it's actually giving me more of water energy. There's like a patch here with a little bit of red on it. I feel like this is the sacral energy in disguise. The moon in Taurus. I'm going to get back to that in a second. Three of Wands inverted. So I have red here. I have a little bit of green. And then a little bit of orange tones, but not really. And then it's mostly the solar chakra. And I'm seeing the sun in Aries, and I'm seeing it inverted. So I have that Mars Aries retrograde energy attached to this, but also moon energy again. 6 and 9, that's half the moon. Crescent. Like, let me give you a crust of bread. Like, I'm so consumed with just making it and having enough for myself that I'm not going to rock the boat by taking any risks, because then my future will be unknown. Just looking at these energies, I feel like that's not quite right, so I'm going to get another card. Oh, this one fell out. The Four of Pentacles. The Sun in Capricorn. So I wasn't sure how this flopped out, if it was supposed to be up or down, but I'm pretty sure it landed in the challenge position. So I have the Sun on its side, right? Sort of an eclipse, halfway between the Sun and the Moon. I don't know what to let go of and what to hold on to. And I don't want to give up sort of financial security, material security, social security by being weird. I don't want to give that up, but I also don't want to hang on to some kind of I feel like it's like I don't want to hang on to my personal identity. Let me get another card for this Three of Wands inverted. The Star inverted. The Uranus retrograde energy. Another one. The Chariot inverted, Cancerian energy. The Sun and the Star and the Moon. I'm not healing this distancing from my true self in order to maintain societal status. And it's causing me to not move forward with my healing. And I'm seeing 8 total, 7, 15 devil energy Capricorn. I'm bound to that which I will not let go of. Thank God. Let me get an overall here. Let's see what these last cards are saying. Biting me on my elbow. 15 minutes left as I look at that. Sisterhood of the Rose inverted. Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, and Teacher. I just heard Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. John Denver. I think there's a moon here as well. Right? This is like the daybreak, or the shift from the eclipse back into the sunlight. A message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. Alright, I feel like I need to clarify these as well. Okay, I'm going to clarify these with one from here. Okay, apparently 2 from here. Oh, that was a page. And one from here. Of course it is. Alright, I guess I'm taking 2 cards from there. Anchor, 9 of Swords. And the Rider, 1 inverted with a 9 of Cups. So when I see 9 of Cups inverted, that tells me 9 of Swords energy. It's the half nightmare, right? My information's not coming in. And I see this rainbow here. I'm going to throw down. So I have Page of Cups, just setting out emotionally, but I have the Tower. 16 breaking down to a 7. Nine and 11 is Judgment. 7 and 8 is 15. Devil energy, and 10 completion, the Wheel. What does that mean? It's really reiterating that you have all the information you need, but you're not listening. Magician inverted. Okay, so that's doubling down on that message. And then I have the King of Cups. Okay. You're not going to be able to pull out of this situation by wishing it or imagining it to be so. Right? There's that infinity that the Time Master had. You can't force your dreams to come true because you haven't anchored into the energy of your own heart center, right? We're throwing this down out in the middle of the ocean. We're setting up shop inside this waking nightmare. We're trying to overcome the fear of being emotionally refreshed. And until the Tower, fire energy, until you take on this clearing emotionally, you won't have this emotional balance. So your guides are saying, like, just because we're not giving you more cheat codes doesn't mean that we're not helping you in some way, right? I'm going to give you fire, but I'm not going to singe you with it. If you want to restructure your internal world, you have to face those flames on your own, because otherwise you won't gain the knowledge that you need to have the stability. Still kind of stuck on this Sisterhood of the Rose card. Let me try to get another one of these to help illustrate it. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Okay. So what I was starting to get with this is that you're going through this trauma in order to come out and be part of the upper world yourself. You're in training to be a guide, or you're a guide in disguise, right? It says, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. This is what was supposed to happen. But in order, it's sort of like, I'm going to bounce you onto the ground and see how far you bounce back up. Longing for home, belonging, and the original light workers. I'm stuck down here. I want to go home. I don't feel safe. But in some ways, you're either blazing a trail for those to come behind you, or you're walking a path that's been walked before because it's the only way that can open you up to the deeper knowledge that will enable you to master the time itself. It's like you can't just be outside of time. You have to understand what it's like to be stuck in time and to feel like you're not moving, so that you'll be able to understand how to relate that to other souls that are in turmoil, that are either following this same journey outline, this same lesson plan, right? You're adding depth and information to the encyclopedia, right? You're updating the Wikipedia for these cosmic lessons. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there because I think throwing more cards on it is not gonna help at this point. It's very much to do with I mean, there's this idea of burning, right? And venom. And the weight of a cross that's being borne, and of climbing a mountain, and of sort of being cut off or drowning. And on the bottom of the deck, the moon. So, for Gemini, these energies would indicate overcoming a lot of pain that's been building up for many generations. And the key point is to understand that there's messages coming in, and that while you're sort of burning away the ashes of your life as it's been known and been painful, you're less alone than you think. I mean, Gemini should never feel alone, because there's always two of you just there, but because Gemini is the twins. But if you're cut off from half of yourself, that's when you will feel alone. But it's this is a life's lesson without the training wheels. But you can replay the video of other people riding bikes as many times as you want. You're just not going to get, the bike riding video on the BMX X Games until you level up. Alright, so is that right? Is it BMX? I don't know. Whatever. Mountain biking. Oh, mountain biking. Alright, if you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up there, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. I have a complete list of readings I have and how much they cost in the description box of my infomercial video, which is going to be linked below this. I have merch and prints at Cafe Press and Deviant Art. I've got coloring books. I've got actual art items like digital portraits, foam lotus, individual art pieces, stuffed animals, and a couple other things that's going to be in my catalog. And all those links are going to be with that description box. And if you are having issues with that and you can't find it, just email me and I'll get you that data. If you want to help keep this channel running, you can hit that tip jar, energy exchange, donation, whatever, paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, Check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.